Hello friends and welcome to this video. We are having the fifth topic from our first chapter titled Digital Spectrum to Learn Advanced Digital Signal Processing. Various fundamentals with respect to a signal we are learning in this particular chapter. So after introduction to the subject and the corresponding chapter Digital Spectrum, we have the continuous time, discrete time and digital signal, the various details. The difference between the three we have learned, the significance of sampling and quantization to get discrete time first of all, and then the digital signal from the continuous time signal we have seen. Now from few of our previous videos we have a practice of generating the standard type of continuous time and discrete time signals into the MATLAB environment. Now let us have one more practical session again using the MATLAB environment where we are going to deal with the even and odd parts of the signal. So here we have the topic titled MATLAB program parts of signal. So let us begin to see the details, what aim we take and how do we accomplish using the MATLAB environment. So let us begin with the topic. So here we start with our topic titled MATLAB program parts of signal. So with respect to the parts of the signal, here we discuss a simple aim here. So here we are going to write a MATLAB program for finding the even and odd parts of the signal. Here, for example, we are going to deal with two signals. Those are mathematically expressed by these equations. This is the first MATLAB signal that is denoted in the time domain by x of t, and it is basically exponential of 2t here. Whereas we have the second signal that it is denoted into the discrete time domain by x of n, and this is equal to 0.8 to the power n. So the first signal here we have that is of the continuous time type, whereas the second signal is discrete time type. So let us have both the signals first of all generated into the MATLAB environment, and then we can have separating even and odd parts of the corresponding signal. So very first of all we will switch to the MATLAB environment and we shall deal with the first signal x of t is equal to e to the power 2t. So let us have the MATLAB environment. So here we are provided with the MATLAB environment. So in the editor window, we will like to have one untitled script where we can start programming for the given signals here. So here we have untitled script here. Now as usual practice, whatever the unnecessary windows of the MATLAB are there, we want them get closed. Then we don't want any of the variables from the previous programming also available in the workspace, so that it may not be any interrupt in the fresh execution of the program script that we are going to develop here. And we also want the command window with clarity here. So that is why I have written close all, clear and CLC. Now as usual practice, I will have a line commented mentioning what is the purpose of this particular program. So here I am going to write this is a program for finding even and odd parts of a signal. So here in this particular program we are going to deal with the first type of the signal that it was shown with continuous time. Now for this particular purpose we require time as a parameter, and in the continuous time signal the time parameter here we denote with the help of the t, and for plotting it and displaying it onto the console we require a specific range of this particular time parameter. So let us have the minimum value of the time. So we should be assigning certain value to the variable that we are going to define here as t minimum, and let us have the assigned value to this particular variable be -3, whereas there should be a certain maximum value as well. So let us have another variable named t max, and it will be having the +3 value to be assigned to that particular variable. Now the range from -3 to +3 we are setting here, and there should be a difference between the various values as we are actually dealing with here for plotting purpose. So the smallest possible difference here we take between the adjacent values here, so that it is of 0.1. I have denoted it with the help of the variable dt. And now the exact time as a parameter to show the continuous time signal generated and further process for finding out the even and odd parts of the signal. Here we define small t is equal to having the values starting at the value of t min variable, extending it with the difference of dt up to t max value here. So this is what the formulation with the help of the colon. We are going to have the particular interval steps from t min to t max here. So the time parameter we have defined here. Now making the use of this time parameter, we have to generate the signal that it was shown to us while having the aim before starting this MATLAB script here. So for that purpose, what we do, we take the two variables. The first variable, the exact signal we are going to develop with the help of the exponential function here. So x1 is equal to exp in the bracket, we require 2t, that is by 2 asterisk t. So asterisk is nothing but the multiplication in the MATLAB environment, and at the same time we are going to define another variable that will hold the signal, where we have again the exponential function, exponential in the bracket minus 2 asterisk t here. So there it is, negation 2 utilized here. Now here we are going to make the use of if else statement here. See, we are going to first of all put the condition into the if, as we have developed the two variables x1 and x2. You can see one is having positive 2 power to the exponential, whereas another case into the x2 we have minus to that one here. So if we compare the two, so let us have the logic developed as x2 is equal to x1. If this condition is true, so that time what should this particular program be doing here? So we expect it to display a certain message onto the command prompt here. So for displaying purpose, here we are going to make the use of disp command within the parenthesis and a pair of single quotes. Thereupon we are going to print a message. See, the message will be the given signal is even signal. So as we expect the signal to be even signal, for even signal you see there should be a symmetry. Whatever the part there it is in the positive, the same part if it is there in the negative, we call the given signal to be the even signal. So to look at that particular condition while equating x1 and x2, so if the condition is true, so that time this particular message will be displayed on the command window here. Now if the condition is not true, so thereupon we shall be writing else if. So else if part, and here the second condition is to be validated here. So the second condition here we have x2 is equated to minus of x1 here. So if this is the condition true, so in this particular case, we are again going to display a certain message onto the command window. So thereupon, here we are writing the given signal is odd signal. Just look at the condition that we have written in else if structure. So here we are equating x2 to the negation of x1. So when a negative part is same that of the x2 here, so of course this is not the even signal, this is the odd signal. And If this condition is also not true, so what should be done? So else we are writing another message here. So the another message will be displayed onto the command window. So within a pair of parentheses and a pair of single quotes inside, here we are writing the given signal is neither even or odd signal. Instead of writing or, as we are using neither, it should be neither nor. So the given signal is neither even nor odd signal. So this is the message it will print onto the command window. So just ending this particular syntax with the help of the semicolon and getting the if else structure ended here. So I just mention end keyword, so it will end this, again end. So whatever the number of conditions you have, so those many number of times you have to write the end keyword. Now, as the program is intended to find out the even and odd parts of the signal, let us have the even part denoted. So for that purpose, let us have one variable as defined xe. So we compute xe as the sum of x1 and that of the x2 here. So x1 added by x2 and this summation is further divided by 2 here. So the sum of the two signals x1 and x2 as we have defined, x1 is exponential of twice t whereas x2 is exponential of minus 2t here. So when adding the 2 and dividing it by 2, that it will be the even part here. So that we assign to the variable xe. Next to that we define another variable xo. So here what we are going to do, we are finding the difference of x1 and that of the x2. So whatever the difference we obtain, that difference when it is divided by 2, so that information we are going to assign to the variable xo here. Now here we are making the definition for another variable, that it is y min. So YMIN, it should be the variable name, and it will find out the minimum of here within parenthesis, and inside there should be the square brackets. Here we shall be writing minimum of, that it is x1, then we shall be making the use of comma, it will be minimum of x2 comma, then minimum of xe, just now we have defined, and the minimum of xo. So this is what the logic we are building for y min, and as we are having the y minimum, we are also requiring y maximum to be also defined. So this is just the max function. So max of, within the parenthesis we are again having the square brackets and the 4 elements here we shall be writing max of, the first one is x1 comma, max of, here we are writing x2 comma, max of, we are writing xe as the input argument to this, and then lastly maximum of xo here. So this is what the logic for y max here. Now the things we have done, that it was necessary to find out even and odd parts for the given signal. Now we are going to plot the things. Now for plotting purpose and further displaying purpose, we are going to make the use of subplot. So here subplot we will like to have 2 rows, 2 columns. So let us have 2 comma 2 comma 1 as we are making the first assignment. Now as the signal we are dealing is of the continuous time signal here. So for plotting purpose, the simplest command that we have also utilized in one of our previous practical session, that it is plot command, and it requires the input arguments, basically the axis uh, in between which we are having a plot of the information. So one is the time as the parameter, that is why I am putting t as the parameter. Second is the signal information. So here we are going to display the signal information of x1 here. So t comma x1 I have mentioned here, and thereupon I will require the axis information as well. So within the pair of parentheses and a pair of square brackets inside here we will be having t minimum, t maximum, then y minimum, then y maximum here. Now at the end we shall be making the use of semicolon, and then we will require to label with the names to the concerned axis here. So the horizontal axis, here we are going to have nomenclature with the help of the MATLAB syntax X label here. So inside the parenthesis there it is a pair of single quotes where inside we are writing the t as the parameter to denote the continuous time as the parameter here. So this is what the nomenclature to the horizontal axis. Then we will be having nomenclature to the vertical axis, that is perpendicular to the it. So here we are having the signal information plotted. The signal is x1. So here in the time domain for the continuous time it is x1 of t. So at the end semicolon, and after nomenclature to both the axes we will like to have title to this section here. So here I am mentioning the title within a pair of parentheses and a pair of single quotes. I just write here, this is the signal x of t. Though I have the variable x1 holding that particular information, but if you get back to the aim where we had the aim given to us before starting this MATLAB programming, there you will see the given signal that it is exponential of 2t. The information is holded up by the variable x1 here. So this is the signal x of t, the given signal here. Now next to that we are going to plot the negative version that has been holded by the x2 as well. So for that purpose again we have to plot the thing into the next cell of the subplot. So we have two rows, two column, and here it should be the second entry here. So now after this command we will like to have the plot command. So thereupon we shall have the input arguments as t comma x2 here. After ending this with the help of semicolon, we are providing the axis information. So this axis information will be arranged into here. We are again having T minimum, then T maximum, then Y minimum, then Y maximum. After ending, let us provide nomenclature to the axis here. So for horizontal axis, let us have X label. So for the X axis, there it is time parameter T. Then it comes Y axis, which is vertical. So there it is Y label as the MATLAB command, and inside the parenthesis and a pair of single quotes I just mentioned, here it is x2 of t here. So this is x2 of t. The labeling here we have done for both the axes, and there it should be a title here. So in the title here we are mentioning signal, the signal x of t, that it was the previous condition. Here it is signal x of minus t here, signal x of minus t. Getting this line ended with the help of the semicolon. Now the two signals, the positive and its corresponding negation, we have plotted in the corresponding cells here. Now we have to assign the another plot to the next cell of the subplot. So here it is the command subplot 2 comma 2 comma 3 here. Next to that we are making the use of plot command. Inside the bracket here we have t comma xe for the even part here. So thereupon we are again making the use of axis information. So within the parenthesis and a pair of square bracket inside we have t minimum, then we don't have comma here, t maximum, then y minimum, then y maximum here, ending this with the help of semicolon, then x label, there it is t as a continuous time parameter, then labeling to the next axis. So here it will be xe of t, the continuous time domain representation of the signal here, and then we shall be providing title to it. So here it is the title. So as we have separated the even part and the odd part here, xe is holding the information of even part of the given signal here. So here we are writing the title to be the even part of signal, or simply the signal as it is denoted in the continuous time domain by x of t here. Next to that we have the last subplot here where the odd part is to be displayed here. So subplot 2 comma 2 comma 4, the assignment here we are making with the help of plot command, and to the plot command the input arguments are, here we are providing time as a parameter and then xo as another parameter, then we have the axis information to it. So within a pair of parentheses and a pair of square brackets inside, here we shall be mentioning t minimum space, t maximum space, y minimum space, y maximum, and after ending here let us provide nomenclature to the axis here. So here this is the x label inside the brackets, and within a pair of single quotes let us have the continuous time parameter t. Then to the y axis we have y label, where within a pair of parentheses and a pair of single quotes here we shall be writing xo of t. Next to that we provide title. So the title to this particular section of the subplot, it should be odd part of x of t. Yes, so this much of script I think it is essential, and now it is enough for determination of the even and odd part of the first type of the signal represented in continuous time domain here. So let us save this much of script. So for, as this is the fifth topic here, the first signal here we have generated and separated out with the even and odd parts. I just name it as program 1 underscore 5 underscore 1 here. So this is the first part of the fifth topic from chapter number 1 here. So I just save this particular .m will be the file extension. You see the same file has been now generated into the current directory here. Now currently we don't have any variables into the workspace on the right hand side. I just run this particular program. So let us check whether it is error free or yes, the program has been executed. In the workspace on the right hand side you see there are the various variables dt, t, tmax, tmin, x1, x2, xe, xo, ymax, ymin. Now there it is, the command window. The command window message you see, the given signal is neither even nor odd signal here, whereas here we have the plot of the signal. with the help of this MATLAB window here. So as we have two rows and two columns, the first cell you notice, here it is the original signal x of t here. Now x of minus t is plotted into the second cell on its right hand side here. Then even part of x of t here we have, and odd part of x of t is here plotted into the last cell. So this was all about separating out the even and odd parts of the signal and determining the given signal is whether it is completely even signal or odd signal here. So this was the task here. Now let us have our focus onto the second type of the signal provided to us. So second type of the signal is represented into the discrete time domain here. So for that purpose, let us have another untitled script initially. So we will like to have the MATLAB window closed here. Then we will like to have the workspace clear of any of the variables from the earlier execution of the program, and command window also getting cleared here. Now for the signal that it was shown to us, I will get back to that particular aim here. Yes, this was the aim. MATLAB program to find even and odd parts of the signal. The first part we are accomplished with. So this portion is over. Now we are required to find even and odd part of the second signal. Second signal, you see it is denoted by x of n, and that it is given 0.8 to the power n. So now let us switch to the MATLAB environment. So in this untitled script we shall continue. Now the purpose of the program, initially we had written, for this particular script also I will be writing program for finding even and odd parts of a signal. Okay, now here we shall be requiring the time parameter into the discrete domain that we usually denote with the help of small n as a letter. Let us limit the range from -5 to +5 with 1 unit interval in the adjacent values here. So I just define small n is equal to -5 colon 1 colon 5 here. So from -5 to +5 we have the value of discrete time variable. Next to that, as the given signal is having 0.8 as the number, and to its particular power we have to put n here. Let us have a variable capital A defined, and it is assigned with the value 0.8 here. Now here we shall be generating the variable x1 to hold our signal information. So it is 0.8 to the power n. That is why we take capital A, and to its we provide power with the help of dot cap, and then we write small n. So small n is the discrete time variable. Now its negative part can be holded up by another variable that we have defined it to be x2. So here we write it to be a dot cap, and here inside the parenthesis I just provide minus n here, ending the line with the help of semicolon here. So this way we have first of all generated the given signal as represented into the aim here. Now we are going to make the use of if else statements here. So with the help of if statement, first of all I am putting the condition. We are just comparing x1 with x2 whether to check the given signal is even signal or not. So for that purpose let us have x2 equal to sign x1. So here we end, and if the condition is found to be true, so for that purpose we will like to have a message displayed onto the command window as it used to be into the earlier script. So let us have the use of display command disp, and within the brackets and a pair of single quotes, here we will like to have display of the message that the given signal is even signal. So ending this with the help of semicolon. If the condition is false, so that time we are going to check another condition. So for that purpose we have else if statement, and with else if we are going to check the condition whether x2 is equal to negation of x1. So if this condition is true, so that time it will be the odd signal. So let us display the same kind of message onto the command window. So here within a pair of parentheses and a pair of single quotes, here we shall be writing the message to be printed. The given signal is odd signal. Now ending this syntax with the help of semicolon here. Now if this condition is false, so for that purpose we shall be making the use of else command. So if both the conditions are false, what message is to be displayed on the command window? So for that purpose, again make the use of disp command, and within a pair of parentheses and a pair of single quotes, let us write a message there. The given signal is neither even nor odd signal. So this is the message here. Now after providing semicolon at the end, we are required to get out of this if else structure here. So for that purpose I will be making the use of end keyword two times. Whatever the number of times you have put the conditions to check with the help of if statement here, those many number of times you have to write end as a keyword here. Now let us have determination of the even part and the odd part here. So let us hold the even part information by the variable named xe, defined as xe is equal to addition of the earlier two variables, that it is x1 plus s2, which is divided by 2. So let us end this with the help of semicolon, and the odd information of the signal we shall save with the help of the variable named xo here. So to the xo we assign the difference of x1 and x2, and let us divide it with the help of 2 as a value here. We shall be finding half of that difference here. So xe and xo we have defined here. Now it's time to have the display of the signal, its mirror form, that it means mirror image, and the corresponding even part and the odd part here. So now here we are again making the use of subplot for display purpose. Let us have two columns and two rows. So we have 2 comma 2 comma 1 assignment to the first cell here. Now as the given signal is there in discrete time representation, so for the display of discrete time domain signal here, instead of the plot command that it was for the continuous time signal, we have to make the use of stem command here. So now here we are providing the stem as a syntax, and the input arguments are the discrete time variable n and then the signal variable, that it is x1 here. Next to that it comes the nomenclature portion for the two axes of the plot here. So for that purpose let us write x label command. It will provide name to the horizontal axis. So as this is discrete time representation, the discrete time variable n it is provided. Now the next axis is, here we have the y axis. So there it is the command y label, and inside the parenthesis there it is a pair of single quote where we shall be mentioning x1 of n. x1 of n is the discrete time representation, symbolic representation here, and finally we are providing title to this particular section here. So the title, it will be the original signal as represented. So signal x of n here. So ending this with the help of semicolon. Now the original signal has been displayed into the first cell of the subplot 2 comma 2 here, 2 rows and 2 columns here. Now into the second cell we will like to plot its mirror image. So let us have subplot 2 comma 2 comma 2, then the use of stem command, where again the input argument will be, here we have small n as one input argument and x2 as the second. So x2 is holding its mirror image here. Then it comes labeling of the axis here. So here we are having the x-axis nomenclature with the help of the discrete time variable n. Then y-axis is also labeled. Thereupon we shall be having the name x2 of n, and after that we also provide title to this particular section. See, within a pair of parentheses and a pair of single quotes, we shall be writing it to be signal x of minus n. So this is its mirror image. Now after the display of these two, the original signal and its corresponding mirror image, now it's time to have display of even part and then the odd part. So for even part, we shall be making the use of third cell of this subplot. So subplot 2 comma 2 comma 3, then semicolon, then again the use of stem command. The input arguments are n comma, for even part we have the signal generated to be xe. Then we have the nomenclature to be done. So it is x label. Inside the x label command we have the discrete time variable n, ending this with the help of semicolon. Then there it is y label command. Inside the parenthesis and a pair of single quotes, here we shall be mentioning xe of n. So that is holding the even port of the signal here. So after x labeling and y labeling, let us have the title provided to this particular section. So thereupon we write here even part of the signal. The signal, it is x of n. So ending this with the help of semicolon here. Now even part of the signal will be displayed here. Now we have to display the odd part of the signal. So let us make the use of last cell of the subplot here. So subplot command 2 comma 2 comma 4 here, ending it with the help of semicolon, then making the use of stem command. Inside the stem, the input arguments are n comma xo. Then we have to provide nomenclature here. So x label. So x label, it will be the discrete time variable small n. Then it will be labeling of another axis. So y label. So for y labeling, it will be xo of n. And after this, we will be having a small title to it. So the title is within a pair of parentheses and a pair of single quotes. We write odd part of signal x of n. So ending the line with the help of semicolon. Still our script is untitled. We have to save it. Saving it to the current directory. Let us have this to be the second part of the fifth topic. So I just write program 1 underscore 5 underscore 2 here, as this is the first chapter. So this is 1 underscore 5 underscore 2. .m is the file extension. So I have saved it. The same name has been generated for a file, new file, that it is saved in the current folder. Now These are the variables from the previous program here. Now let us have execution of the current program. So let us run this particular program. So as I run this particular program, so we have a display of the MATLAB window having 4 cells here. Now in the workspace on the right hand side, first of all you check the variables are the new variables those we have generated while programming this current script here. Now I just maximize the MATLAB window that has been popped up here. So let us have x1 of n that has been displayed, which is the original signal here. Now its mirror image is displayed with x of minus n to the next cell. Then its corresponding even part is displayed in the third cell, and the corresponding odd part is displayed into the last cell, that is fourth cell here. So this is what our topic it was. It was the topic MATLAB program parts of signal. So this was from the chapter 1 digital spectrum. By the next lecture we shall continue with the same chapter digital spectrum, and there it will be another topic where again we are going to make the use of MATLAB environment for programming purpose. In that particular topic we shall deal with energy and power of the signal. Thank you.